All right,
Aw.
now we're
I wanted
restarting.
that swear to be in.
Yep. No, I screwed up and
Hippo.
I didn't have the Discord open. So now we're gonna start again. Hey, welcome to the boardroom. I'm your CEO and host Bagelmode. I am joined by CFO Magic and our intern Melly. We do not have our COO today. He is working
On
his.
vacation in the Bahamas.
Yep, that's a much better answer than what I was going to actually say. Is
Unload his offshore bank accounts. I don't know.
yeah, it's like his payday offshore bank account. All right. With that, we have some pretty okay news for you. We have Amazon invested in startups, stole their technology, and then basically built their own
Bad
and
power.
destroyed the startups. So yeah.
Logitech had a new gaming chair.
Gaming chair crossed with Herman Miller, so it's gonna cost you way too much money.
$1,500
All right.
is the price that I at least saw.
Yep.
Someone said.
Keep going. Magic, your turn.
Chinese people have made found a way to exploit your fast charging systems.
Yeah. And with that, we will. I'm just gonna beep that entire
Oh,
thing.
come
on. So with that, let's jump right in. Melly, what have you been playing this week?
Batman Arkham Asylum.
And how's that going?
I just started playing it again, so
How many
I
hours?
can really tell it came over. Well, I have 7 hours in, but I would say about one of that is what I've been playing. So recently, at least.
And still liking it, or?
Well, it kind of shows its age.
Yeah.
Would it come out in 2013 or something like that?
But is it still fun?
Oh yeah, I love the Batman games. Like all of the Batman games, I played all of them. Love all of them. Playing them on console is a little bit different. I'm used to playing it because I have the other ones on PlayStation, and just getting used to the third-person perspective on console is it's weird for me.
Have you?
And I finished The Last of Us 2.
So hang on. First with the Batman, do you play with a controller on PC?
No. I mean, I probably could, but then I'd have to go upstairs, grab the controller, come back downstairs, plug it
in. And should we save the Last of Us 2 discussion, actually?
Save it, yeah.
Okay. Magic, what have you been playing this week?
So I've opened up my case of DS games and have chosen a game from my childhood I have not beaten called Dinosaur King.
Jeez.
How old is this game?
Yeah.
This game is from 2007.
Dang. All right. And
the graphics definitely do not hold up.
Well, that's no surprise. We weren't expecting those two.
So, I guess first to preface why it started off as an arcade game in it was made in 2005, and it's one of those things that spiraled into a card game, TV show, and DS game later on. And yeah, the DS games graphics definitely look like they took the arcade games graphics, shrunk them down to fit on the DS cartridge. So the footage will look very terrible.
Oh, I can't wait to see it and edit it in.
Do you want me to talk about the game, or do you want to hold off on that for right now?
No, talk about the game, of course.
So there's the big thing is that it's kind of like a Pokemon style game where you just have a bunch of dinosaurs and they fight a bunch of other dinosaurs. Each dinosaur has an elemental type, of which there are 6: fire, wind, grass, earth, lightning, and water. They're all kind of each dinosaur has an attribute based off of what kind of dinosaur it is. So like the big theropods, like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and would be like fire, while the small theropods, like something like Dilophosaurus, would be wind. Ornithopods like Parasaurolophus would be grass. Things like Stegosaurs and Ankylosaurs are earth. For some reason, ceratopsids like Triceratops are lightning, and then sauropods and spinosaurids are water.
So, is this literally just Pokemon, but someone used dinosaurs?
No, because the main fighting mechanic is rock, paper, scissors.
What?
So you have each dinosaur gets to have 3 moves: a rock move, a paper move, and a scissors move. And as they level up, they can get more moves. As in, and each move can be used on other dinosaurs. So you get like a quote unquote card for each time you get a move, and then you can use that card on any dinosaur. So like, and the type of moves that you get are dependent on the types of dinosaur that you have. So, like there's dinosaurs that are quote unquote like tie types or Counter Strike types or Blitz types, and whatever type they are, you get different moves. And your moves are also based off of which part of rock, paper, scissors they focus mainly on. So each one has like this one's critical move would be like a rock, for instance, in which case they'd have more moves that are based around rock. So the idea would be to not only have different types of elements, but also to have different dinosaurs facing off of different either rock, paper, scissors. And then just like in rock, paper, scissors, every turn you basically go and choose one of those 3 options, and whichever one wins gets to attack.
So, is there any way to strategize around the whole rock, paper, scissors thing, or no?
When you're not playing against other people, yes. So before every turn, your opponents will give like a hint as to what they're doing. So for instance, I've got a few quotes from the game. I'll beat that last tie move, for instance, would mean that they're going to do whatever move would beat whatever tie. So let's say you tied on scissors, they're going to do rock, which means that you need to do paper.
Ah.
I will stay the course is typically said when you failed and got hit, and then they stick on the same move, and which means that you just need to beat whatever move that they did. As you progress in the games, like initially in the first area, it like very much handholds you. I actually think that in the first area specifically, they do a pretty good job of tutorializing this, actually.
Ah.
Like they start off with the opponent will only do their critical attack as like a start, meaning that you need to plan around doing that, and they tell you basically what moves to pick every turn. But once you get beyond that first area, then they get rid of the hand holding and start doing the quotes, which like the enemy will basically, like I said before, where they'll give you quotes, and from there you need to figure it out. But it's pretty much the same pattern there. And then the next area they swap it up, where they'll basically it becomes more difficult to figure out what they're doing, and in terms of their quotes are more vague. And they start introducing the dreaded blank quote, where they just won't give you a quote at all. Meaning that typically that just means that they're not going to choose whatever move that they just used, and depending on whether it's a random encounter or a set encounter, it'll mean that it could be basically the continuation of a pattern or a completely random move. Oftentimes they have like a similar, like a pattern. Like in the first area, you're pretty much going like if you start at rock, then you go to scissors, then you go to paper, and then rock, scissors, and paper is typically the pattern. But like I said, depending on like if it's like a boss, they tend to swap it up a whole lot more, which means that paying attention to what they're saying is far more important. Yeah, so I've got some more of the quotes, like you're planning a critical move, which means that they're going to try to counter that, which means that you need to counter their counter. And yeah, so they've got like a whole bunch of quotes there. So yeah, an interesting thing that makes it also different is that you cannot use healing items during battle.
All right.
So any damage that you take is pretty much set. In addition, moves have different effects. So obviously certain moves have elemental types to them, in which case only a dinosaur of that elemental type can use that type. But others have things like, if it was a tie last turn, this move gets boosted by 2.
Huh.
Or if you took damage, then this move gets boosted. Obviously, these aren't at all useful during when you're playing single player, but I assume that they're more useful when you're actually fighting against real live people.
And it's got a real thriving community these days.
And on top of that, each move, depending on how powerful it is, has a cost, like a kind of like a mana point kind of thing, where it recharges every turn. So if you can't just keep spamming rock, because eventually you'll run out of the ability to use rock, and in which case then your enemies will punish you for that.
Okay. Interesting game. I would be very interested to see how the PvP would go, just because I feel like it would turn into you intentionally using a random number generator to figure out which one you're going to use next.
Well, once again, so every dinosaur has like focuses on either rock, paper, or scissors mostly, which means that they do the most damage on that one.
Oh.
And like I said before, they have elemental types, so sending out dinosaurs against other dinosaurs matters what type they are. So even if you do a random number generator, it still matters what dinosaur you send out.
So if you said that you specialize in one type, if you use the type that type is weak to, are you weak using that, or is it just like your average using that?
So for instance, let's go with wind. Oh wait, wind is weak to fire and effective against grass.
Mm-hmm.
If you use a wind type move on fire, it'll do less damage, but it'll do more damage against grass. And
but
same
like
for the entire circle.
For like the rock paper scissors part of it though. Like
that's the entire way you make. If you fail at rock paper scissors, you don't get to do an attack.
Oh, gotcha.
On that round. So hypothetically, if you were perfect at the game, you could do the entire thing with a no-hit run. However, because there's the dreaded not saying anything line, which means that sometimes, depending on the enemy, it could be randomized. Means that it's very difficult. I'm personally, because it's I've played it, but not like beat it so much. I'm currently doing like a Nuzlocke of it, just because it's easier to not get hit, and it also limits the number of dinosaurs I can use. So negatives about the game, experience is linear, meaning that an enemy. What I mean is that an enemy that's like level 10 gives you like 100 experience points, and will always give you 100 experience points. So it's kind of a hassle to catch up if you use a dinosaur that's a low level. Like initially they'll get leveled up quickly, but then after a while they start really slowing down. So it takes a while to level up, as opposed to in like something like Pokemon, for instance, where experience points granted increases a lot more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, then, if you fight something, let's say like the Elite Four, for instance, your experience points go way higher than if you were to fight just like a regular Pokemon at that level.
Yeah.
So, it's not fun leveling up anything in terms of the amount of grinding you have to do. And the game kind of goes a little crazy on how quickly they level you up. Like, I don't grind, but I'm still like below the level of enemies.
Interesting. Okay.
But because it's all based off of rock, paper, scissors, and they give you hints as to what they're doing, it's not too much of a punishment. Like I said before about doing a no-hit run, technically you could have a level 1 dinosaur beat any dinosaur. Although what I really like about the game is that it's not afraid to use very not well-known dinosaurs. So the dinosaurs you start off with are Carnotaurus and Triceratops. Sorry, took me a while to think of Carnotaurus. But then the very first dinosaur that you unlock after your starting dinosaur is Irritator, which is a not very well known Spinosaurid.
Huh.
And the only really famous dinosaur in the first area is Iguanodon. So they really go like, but basically they go ham on the here's a whole bunch of dinosaurs you don't know, and then they save things like Tyrannosaurus for like higher level, like very rare type dinosaurs, as opposed to most games which would be like, oh yeah, here's like all the very famous dinosaurs, have only those as the available ones.
So I just I forgot Irritator the dinosaur was a thing, so I looked it up. I didn't realize there's a Dinopedia, a Wikipedia specifically for dinosaurs and shit. Alright. Anything else you've been playing this week, Magic?
Nothing where I haven't said anything about before.
Alright. Or what have you been playing just in general?
I've been doing some more MTG Arena, and I've been trying to finish Graveyard Keeper.
Gotcha. Alright. So this week I've only played Half-Life. I think I've only played like 3 hours of it.
The original, correct?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
no. Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2 I perfected Half-Life 2 for achievements. I wanted to perfect Half-Life 2 Episode 2 for achievements, but I just kept f***ing stuff up, and I have to go beep that swear now. Yeah, I've played 3 hours of video games over the past 2 weeks. That's it. Dang. Yeah, so yeah, I have not been playing much overall. Half-Life 1 is still semi-enjoyable, but because it has the weird movement where you like slide around after you stop pressing the keys and whatnot, I get horribly motion sick while playing it, so I can only play it for like an hour at a time. I keep promising myself I'm going to play Undertale, but I haven't gotten around to it. I did something stupid today, or was it? Oh gosh, no, I was upset about something. Oh, all right. So today at work, okay, after work was over, okay, I was gonna try on sunglasses because I get employee discounts on sunglasses and a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna find a pair of very nice sunglasses because I use a $20 Target pair right now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just test them out. So I'm trying a bunch on. I'm like, nah, this one doesn't feel right. There's not enough coverage on the sides, blah blah. And we have like 100 different sunglasses, so I'm just trying on different variations. I'm like, oh man. Eventually I get one. I'm like, this is really good. This is nice. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's a $250 pair of sunglasses. My staff discount is only 50% off, so I'm not buying these. Darn. So that's been the most exciting thing in my life. Yeah, I'm still painting my bike. Painting the back cargo rack of it now because I bought a back cargo rack for cheap. And if we've got nothing else, anything else interesting going on in people's lives? Cool. And with that, we will hop right into the news. We'll just go down the line. Herman Miller gaming chair.
It's so stupid.
So here's the one thing I have to say. All right, I think the top comment of this video is very important. Where this is the first gaming chair that does not look like a mixture of a toddler's chair with a racing chair.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it is so true. It is so true. It's nice to have a chair that is targeted at gamers. That we don't need these things targeted at us. But B, it actually looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could put that in an office and no one would bat an eye. No one would go, "What are you sitting in?" It would just be like, "Oh, you've got a fancy chair. Cool, dude." I'm
The
super
fact
grateful.
that it's $1,500 is like, I understand it, but no, it's
It's a Herman Miller chair, and those things are like, St. Prophet has one, and he has like a $1,300 one, and it's just nuts. I've sat in like Herman Miller chairs, and like they're pretty sweet. So like I would definitely buy this chair if it was within a price range or something. But yep.
I am disappointed though, cause no headrest.
I've never,
At least none that I could see. It might in like the video or whatever.
do you
It
need
might
a
be like a
headrest?
foldable thing. Personally, I like being able to, like, because obviously I'm sitting at my computer. Yes, I game at my computer. If I'm just watching YouTube or something like that, I like to just lean back
Okay.
and rest my head.
Yeah, that I
Like-
understand.
In this chair, you cannot lean back or else you'll be staring at the ceiling.
So most like high-end chairs you can't. I mean, other than like the gaming racer thing.
I realize that, but
Yeah. So,
still.
Magic, any input?
It's a chair that I'm not buying.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a bone to pick with you, Melly, because
Oh god.
So this isn't related. I just remembered this. So you were telling me about all the difficulties you were having
Oh,
trying
it must
to
be
get.
a really large bone. Taking a long time to find it.
Stop it. You were telling us all about how you were having a pain finding or being able to record footage. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you don't check the settings of your video games when you first get them.
No.
Like, am I
Why
the only
would
one?
I?
Like, the first thing I do when I get a new game is I go into settings and I change everything.
No. The only thing that I ever go into settings for is to turn subtitles on.
I'm gonna have to agree with Melly on this one. If my computer wasn't a potato, I wouldn't have any reason to ever go into settings.
Wow, I'm the other way around. Where anytime I go into settings, I see what I can change. Like if I can up the graphics and whatnot. I always turn on subtitles as well. But like it's just,
The only time the first time I edit the settings is typically to lower the volume or
Yeah,
to turn on
that's-
subtitles.
That's the only other thing. Which I have
Or-
a bone
or
to
if
pick
my
with
computer is-
all, or not all, but like a lot of game companies and stuff like that, is that whenever you first launch a game on PC, I would say about 80 to 90% of the games that I own, those first intro things that are like, this is the company that produced this game, this is the company that runs the hardware or whatever, way too loud. Just way too loud.
Yep.
It just destroys my ears because I have my lovely headset, which I love. But then,
isn't it like
'cause, like-
$20? But whatever, carry on.
yeah, something like that. No, but like so Batman. I'm playing Batman right now. Every time I play the game, it just blasts my ears off for like, I would say about 10 seconds, just playing those whatever logos. I get into the actual game itself, and all of my settings are basically down to nothing. Like, I have the dialogue is down to, I would say, about 25%. Music's down to maybe 5 or 10%. Sound effects are down to 5 or 10%. I have already set all of that stuff up to be as quiet as can be, that I can still hear it, and it still blasts my ears out whenever I start a game. I hate it.
I just have to say my first, my typical reason also to edit things would be just to lower the settings, just the graphics settings specifically, so I can actually run it. But also usually NVIDIA deals with that for me.
Man, like...
Well, even that, though, is like, I have to actually be playing the game and notice that, hey, my game is chugging. Okay, go back into the settings and now lower 2 things at a time. Is it still chugging? Yes. Go back and lower something else, or no, it's fine.
Man, I just find that really weird, because, like, the first thing I do, pop open settings, change the resolution to make sure it matches my computer, and then edit settings to make sure everything else is working right. Like, huh. Okay. I just...
You're just weird.
Well, so, actually, better question, how many different games are you playing, though? Like... Because I would say...
In general or of all time? Because I have a lot of games.
In general, in general and in all time. Because, like, I play... When I get new games, like, I always have to change the settings. I feel like I always have to change the settings. And I've played a crap ton of different games. So maybe
so right now...
They really change the settings in terms of resolution or anything like that, other than graphics and volume.
Okay.
I was going to say, right now, the only games that I have on my computer that I've had on my computer for more than like 3 weeks is Left 4 Dead 2, Gary's Mod, Fallout 4, Ark Survival, and Tabletop Sim. And just those games are fine. I have them set up. But now going through and playing like Batman and Helltaker or whatever it's called.
Yep.
I tried playing Destiny a couple times. It's fine. If it's not fine, I do the thing where it's like, hey, properties set launch options. And that usually fixes it. If it's not running properly. Because that's the only issue that I've ever had, like, actually playing games on this computer. Is that the resolution isn't set properly.
Huh, okay. Okay. It's just second nature for me to do those things. I didn't realize it wouldn't be for everyone else. Okay. Anyways, let's carry on in the news then. Microsoft no longer is interested in bringing Game Pass or Xcloud to competing consoles. So, from the sounds of it, they were going to try and put basically Microsoft games on the Switch. And now they're not going to be doing that with Xcloud. But I don't think anyone here is interested in game streaming services. So we can skip this one, I guess.
Yeah.
Bad power attack corrupts fast chargers to melt or set your device on fire. This is a fun one. Where basically you can screw up the firmware of the little like wall wart chargers, and you can make it so that whoever plugs in their phone next, their phone catches on fire or melts or just doesn't work. Holy crap. Yeah.
Wow.
This is pretty bad.
So, do you have to like have physical access to the device, or?
So it's for the wall wart thing. So if you have,
What is that?
if you've got a whatchamacallit, a frickin' like one of those plugs, you would be able to change it. So the thing you could do is you could like leave it in a public place and just someone's like, oh, free charger, and they could then fry their stuff with it. Like, man, this is not great.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like...
Well, the
personally,
biggest
I don't
thing is that
typically
they
pick up
found a
chargers.
solution, but most don't have the capability to update it to fix it.
Yep. You would have to update the firmware of the devices in the wild, which you can't really do. But you would be able to do it to new ones coming out. But still, that's don't pick up cables and whatnot off the ground, kids. If you didn't need
that should be pretty obvious.
Hey, some people it's not. Well, let's skip Star Wars Squadrons because I think we're gonna have a lot there. Avowed, which is made by Obsidian Entertainment, the same guys that made Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds, and probably were the best Bethesda studio until they left Bethesda. Are making basically Skyrim. There was a short trailer, but yeah, it looks like Skyrim. There's not much more to say about it.
Yeah, when is it coming out? Does anybody know?
I think they just did the announcement.
September 9th?
No, that is an expansion for the other game.
Peril of Goron.
Yep,
Gotcha.
Yep, it's just saying, hey, it's coming out. They don't say specifically when it will be. Yeah.
I like it. Because I like Skyrim, but I am going to be very interested to see if people like it because they like Skyrim or don't like it because they like Skyrim. Or just obviously don't compare it to Skyrim. But
oh, it's going to be. It has to be.
No, I realize that, but obviously some people haven't played Skyrim, no, but I'm gonna be curious if people are going to think it's better than Skyrim, think it's worse than Skyrim, or don't like it or don't like it because it's so similar to Skyrim, but it's not. I'm not wording that very well, but
That's all right. Also, we've seen a minute 30 seconds of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. It's just a fun developing story.
I would be very curious to see if those, the hand gestures for the spell casting, if that will stay in the game. Because I would assume that it would be, because it's a simple gesture, but a lot of effects like that, I would be hesitant to say absolutely they're going to stay solely because that can be real hard on consoles.
Speaking of being real hard on the consoles, Halo Infinite, the trailer dropped. It looks terrible from a graphical standpoint.
I was going to say it looks like Halo from 5 years ago.
Yeah. It
just graphics wise.
The textures all look flat. If you Google Halo Craig, you can see the photo of one of the brutes from the trailer who is zoomed in, and he's supposed to be charging at the chief and whatnot, and his face is deadpan flat. There's no emotion or anything there. It's just a head that's been copy pasted on. It's not animating. He's supposed to be yelling or something. It's so bad. There was also really bad popping in the trailer where he's going up in the elevator and they pan across the valley and whatnot, and the clouds all popping at once, and the textures, it just, oh boy.
I got distracted while watching the trailer solely because the part where he is going up the elevator, I was just thinking basically the entire time this is not how I would play Halo at all. At all. Just because, I don't have the patience to sit and pan prettily across it. I would just be running back and forth, just, snapping to different...
Yes, but you're not also
What's that?
You're also not trying to show off the game for everyone else.
No, I realize that. I got distracted watching it, because I'm just no, what's to the right? What's to the left? Where are those birds going?
Well, see, I don't know. Well, you guys were looking at how bad the graphics were. I was busy trying to think of the implications of a semi-open world shooter. Because, Halo... Okay, to be fair, I haven't played, a Halo game since Halo 2.
Yep.
but like Halo tended to be more of like a story-based shooter.
Correct. So
Open worlds tend to do weird things to story.
So, The Outer Worlds was an open world shooter. Well, I think Fallout's kind of an open world shooter, no? Or is that just considered as an RPG?
But like, who really plays Fallout for the story?
I only play games for the story, so...
You know I don't play Fallout for the story.
What's game style is more of, ooh, look at this thing, I'm gonna go here. And then you run off and like completely ignore the story for like 5 days, and then you come back, do one mission that's a story-related mission, then you go off again.
Still haven't talked to Deacon at the highway. Oh, I'm angry though, because I found a glitch that I went to Wilson's Auto Toy Factory and cleared it out of super mutants. Went back to the slog or the something like that, and one of the guys is like, "Hey, I need a box of toys and stuff from that factory." So I go back to the factory, get the box of toys, come back, and then the next Minutemen mission is clear out the super mutants at this factory, and there are no I don't have the indicator of where to go or like how to clear it out, and because there's just no super mutants there.
They might respawn. Enemies
I've
sometimes
tried
go back to
multiple
areas.
times to.
No, if you wait a few days, it might come back.
I have tried multiple times.
Well, congratulations on breaking your game.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm
still running around saving random settlements, visiting random locations.
Yeah.
Picking up random monkey dolls that are just laying around.
So,
Listen, Shingles is a national treasure.
To jump back to Halo,
Yeah.
they have said that they have no intention of shipping another Halo game after this, and that Halo will continue only by updates alone.
I doubt that.
Software as a service.
I doubt that.
No, that is their goal, and it's kind of terrifying because it means that we're gonna get Halo the MMO instead of Halo the story-based shooter game. But whatever. It looks like crap.
Is that what Destiny is kind of like with their DLCs? That's like, oh, here's Destiny 2. You play through all the stuff, and then like a month later, there's like, oh, here's like the new raids and stuff like that. And
Yep.
It's a new story.
I mean, it could be that they intend to either have Master Chief retire or Master Chief die, so there would be no game after this.
What else?
I did enjoy going into that trailer, only knowing that the guy in the suit is Master Chief, not knowing anything else that was happening, and it's like, we lost the war. Oh, what war? Because I have never seen anything from Halo. I think the only time I've ever played Halo is like, I would say about 8 years ago when my little cousin was playing it in multiplayer on hard mode or whatever. But I played about 5 minutes of it, shot 3 guys, and I died. And it was like, oh, sweet. Never played a Halo game before. Never played it since. No, I did play it a few years ago, or a year ago when I got my Xbox. But...
Well, for a game that's coming out in 3 to 4 months, it looks pretty bad. Anyways, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Cook, and Pichai antitrust hearing was today. We didn't pay attention to what the results were, so we'll just skip this topic. Amazon reportedly invests in startups and gain proprietary information before launching competitors, often crushing the smaller companies in the process. This might be exactly why we are having an antitrust law thing today. I could be wrong though, but yeah. If you needed proof that Amazon is not a great company, here's slightly more. You know.
Real quick, who's Cook and Pichai?
Pichai is Alphabet, aka Google. Cook is Apple.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep. Tim Cook and Sundar Pichai. And then Jeff Bezos, and obviously. Okay. Android Lockbox lets Google monitor third-party Android app usage. long story short, it's what was happening is allegedly happening is Google was figuring out what people were doing, what apps they liked, and then Google would launch their own in kind of the same way Amazon did with startups.
Yeah, because didn't they say that it was like, YouTube wanted to get the information on like TikTok users and see like what worked, what didn't, and to speed up the future launch of YouTube Shorts feature or whatever it is.
Yep. Reports that Lockbox recently helped YouTube team responsible for a competing Shorts feature see the behavior of Indian Android users on TikTok and its competitors and speed up the future launch. In other words, we spied on them and said, "Oh yeah, that's a good feature. We should add that." I'm all for competition, but Google, this is just lazy and bad. We can skip the Hasbro announces D&D crossover.
What? You don't want a My Little Pony Rogue?
So as a whole, I have no problem with it. Just don't bring it into my games. That's all I gotta say.
Listen, alright, all I'm saying is that technically a pony is a mount, and if they're medium-sized, then you can just stack them on top of each other, and then you got yourself a ranger cannon.
This is why you should have an all-centaur party. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has been allegedly leaked by a Doritos marketing campaign. I just think it's so funny that it got leaked by a Doritos marketing campaign.
Well, it wasn't leaked, it's so much the symbol of it.
Yeah, but still, the fact that
because it was already data mined, so the only thing that was really leaked was just the font of the title.
Yeah, but I just find it funny how we are now at the point where a multi-million-dollar video game is being leaked, being
by a snack company.
By by Doritos. Like, is the bar that low?
Well, I mean, you gotta admit, Doritos, Mountain Dew, and Call of Duty are like the trifecta of stereotypical gamer.
Yeah. As someone who appreciates Doritos, and I appreciated one of the Call of Duties, yeah. I guess I'm a white Wonder Bread person.
Enjoying your return from your vacation to the Bahamas?
Oh, yes, our COO is back.
What
How are those offshore accounts doing?
You had a vacation in the Bahamas, obviously.
Is that where I was?
Yeah, you were managing the offshore accounts, even
wow,
though it's usually the
man,
CFO's job.
Man, that must have been one amazing vacation if you don't remember any of it.
It was nothing but a fueled party,
Rager.
and I will have to bleep that word.
Rager.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, what were you playing this week, Motorboat? I did not go through your talking points because I figured you might get online. So.
I thought I was gonna be clever and give you my talking points.
Yep, and now I gotta bleep that too. Thanks.
Sorry, long day. I basically just.
Who said anyone's name?
I'll be sure to put a big old fat counter next to your name. Yeah, for every swear thing I have to bleep, we have to put $1 into the pot for our marketing campaign for this podcast.
Oh god.
Each of us put in $1 for each swear, or is it each person? Every time?
If you swear, you put in $1.
Shoot, I'm gonna be downloading a lot.
3 times after my last swear. How do we know it's our last swear? You don't.
Alright, speaking of which, Motorboat, how was your week? And what were you playing?
For games, it was a lot of League. I got to play with my Canadian friends. That was a lot of fun. And I call them my Canadian friends because I don't know. Most of them are for Canada. And they joke about it. It's a good time.
I thought you called them your Canadian friends because they were or something.
Yeah. No, they're lovely people. They live in a remote part of Canada, and I won't say their names, even though I only know their first names.
They
Um,
have
His name is
usernames,
Bill,
don't you?
George,
Don't they?
and John.
Yes, but I don't know if they're safe for podcasts.
Oh God. Okay.
They're on the border of sexual, so
I
I'll,
see. I see. All right. So you did
Um,
that. What else did you play? Because of course you played, League. That just goes without saying.
yeah. Well, just as normal league update, just kind of stayed in the same place for rank this week. And other than that, I played some Celeste, because that's my new game I go to quite often.
God.
And beat Chapter 3. And within Chapter 3, I managed to somehow double all of my deaths for the game. So Chapter 1 and 2 combined, I had about 600 deaths. And in Chapter 3, I had 650. So, it's a great time.
Well, congratulations on that, at least.
Thank you. Once I beat Celeste, we'll move on to the next game.
How
So-
far are you through it? How many chapters in
Uh,
total are there?
I'm on Chapter 4. I do not know how many chapters there are. I can Google it. How
Or
many?
don't. You'll probably find spoilers.
Nah, I'll
Anything beyond Celeste and Valorant? Or
No,
not Valorant,
actually, no Valorant. I haven't been. I'm halfway. I'm exactly halfway in Celeste.
Also, I really hope you watched last week's podcast and saw what I put for you talking about Celeste. But
I have not. I'll have to go
you
back.
should just look at the text of it and appreciate it.
Is it in the description or is it in the?
It's in the chapters, so it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, news. World of Warcraft Shadowlands rated for Xbox Series X. Developer claims error. World of Warcraft might be coming to consoles. Woo! About time. That'll be weird.
What?
Real quick, what's the difference between World of Warcraft and League of Legends?
World of Warcraft is an MMO. League of Legends is a MOBA.
The difference between those?
A MOBA.
League of Legends. Sorry, League of Legends is basically you stick a whole bunch of people down 3 paths and fight each other. It's like a strategy game, while World of Warcraft is like an RPG but larger.
It's Elder. World of Warcraft is Elder Scrolls Online because you were talking about that one time.
Again, I've never played Elder Scrolls
Oh
Online.
my god, have you played
RuneScape?
Have you? Yeah, RuneScape, Realm of the Mad God. Have you played? Have you ever stood in like a town square saying "buying GF" over and over again? Like,
No.
Have you ever made your own store in a video game and sold lobsters to people?
Shut up.
That was my source of income in
So-
RuneScape.
so
I
it-
have a sneaking suspicion that this is a meme that has gone on in some of these communities.
No, Motorboat literally would play the video game and make money by selling lobsters. I had a gem store that had no purchases ever made in it, despite the fact that I put hours into it. It was pretty bad. Oh, I miss RuneScape. No, I don't. I hate it. Oh god.
It's a great sinkhole for time.
I have a story that is not podcast related that we can talk about later with RuneScape. And not last, but definitely least favorite topic. 24 karat gold PlayStation 5 coming later this year.
Beautiful. Truly exquisite.
Honestly, I think it's needed.
How many of these are going to end up in like Saudi oil princes' hands? Like, I think that's all this is aimed towards. Honestly,
I'm going to get the platinum.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
but-
Call me crazy, but wasn't there like a gold-plated version of like most consoles released at some point or another?
I wouldn't be surprised, but like this is just something to say like capitalism capitalistic consumerism at its finest. I hate it. I also appreciate how it's gilded, and so I guarantee you that the controllers are just going to wear through horribly, and it's just going to be black plastic underneath it, and it's going to look awful.
It'll be fun. That's for sure.
For those who have too much money. You missed us talking about Halo. Did you watch the
new
trailer?
one? No.
Okay.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Did you see Craig?
I did not see Craig.
Okay. When you get a chance to watch a trailer, look up Halo Infinite Craig. It's pretty bad. But the main topic that we're actually going to talk about is Star Wars Squadrons. And how most people are saying it's pretty good. And that it's pretty interesting. I think the most interesting thing personally to me is the fact that you have to change your shield and energy levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you can increase power to either your shields, your speed, or your damage, the other one? But that I think is just really cool, where you on the fly are increasing your speed but decreasing all the other power, and then if you get into a dogfight you can increase the shields, or if you want you can increase the damage or whatnot. That I think is really awesome. It's interesting to note that it's first person only.
I was gonna say, that was actually a big problem that I had with that. Just because from the video that I saw, it feels like too much of the screen isn't viewable.
So real quick, which fighter were you?
I watched the GameSpot one.
So the TIE Fighter one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the TIE Fighters are really crammed.
I hated that. I'm fine with all of the mechanics and everything. Personally, I got bored watching the video.
I think it's a game that's going to be hard to watch.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to watch, and especially in the TIE Fighter one, since so much of the screen is taken up just by interior rather than viewable.
Yep.
Looking through the window, it felt cramped, and it felt like the camera position was sat way too far back in the TIE Fighter. If it moved forward, so more of the screen was the window and stuff, and you can actually look sort of around, I think it would have been better. But
Well, see, the thing is that, okay, I watched the one from the viewpoint of the X-Wing,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of the information that you need is on the monitors. So, they've got one that was, a radar, which showed everything around you. There was a screen that showed what direction the last thing that you shot at was moving in. It's what direction it was facing, so you could figure out where it was going and whatnot. I feel like the idea is to get used to the monitors as opposed to relying on the screen yourself. And and from my experience playing Space Engineers, for instance, it's super easy to lose sight of whatever you're trying to hit.
Yep.
Without literally being on someone's tail. It's so because it's basically blackness in space, so it's hard to figure out where things are if they move a certain distance away from you.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I feel like the screens are more useful than the actual window, even though it makes you feel a lot more cramped.
Yeah, I watched part of a dude explaining everything, and he was talking about how it's not that bad when you're playing the game, because the game does a lot of things to help you stay on top of it, and it will track targets for you. It will do a bunch of stuff that gives you information, and it doesn't require you to stop and look around. I'm very interested to see this game. Once again, I also think it's really weird that it's $40. Also, when is it coming out? I forget. But yeah, no, it looks pretty polished. It comes out October 2nd. And you can buy a
Right.
special edition that comes with a Rebel X-Wing fighter helmet, because of course there is. Yeah. Oh, okay, hang on. Motorboat.
Yeah.
When you boot up a game for the first time, alright, you just turned it on, do you do anything before you play the game, or do you just hit play?
What do you mean by do you do anything?
Do you go into the settings?
Depends on the type of game. And
Elaborate more.
what I mean by that is like, say it's like a brand new Call of Duty game. It's like,
Mhm.
all right, I know there's things I want to change in this. But if it's like a new game, like say when Valorant came out, like I knew it was gonna be like CS:GO, but I didn't know exactly like what changes are gonna be made. So I tried a game, like I just instantly press play on that and saw like, what am I gonna be doing with this? Like what feels comfortable, and then when I'm in game is where I start changing controls. It's like, I don't like that aspect so much. Stuff like that. Celeste, I instantly loaded up and started playing. So.
Man, I am the only one apparently. I bet if St. Prof was here, he would back me up on this. Where the first thing
What?
I do is I start changing resolution, I start changing graphical options. Like, Alright. But I think I also am the one that plays the most graphically demanding titles out of us, but...
Probably.
Yeah.
You also probably have the best computer of all of us, so.
I don't know what Motorboat has, but...
I think I might be close, but
do you know at all what your GPU is?
off the top of my head, no. I'd have
You
to
had a
look at the
1060
box.
last I checked. I think I might be slightly edging out above you. Oh, I did rebuild recently, so no, I'm probably above you.
Oh, I didn't realize you rebuilt recently.
Yeah, I sunk a crap ton of money into that, and I gotta sink more money in later. Alright, with that, there's not much... I don't think there's anything more to talk about. Do we need to talk about anything? Motorboat, do you have any topic that you saw was like, I need to talk about this?
Not really. I didn't really. I'll be honest. I usually read them like a half hour beforehand, and things came up today, and I was not able to.
Alright, and with that, I think we are going to end this episode of The Boardroom. Thanks. You can find our episodes somewhere, I guess. Yeah, later.
YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.